But you can see how you can see the indentations where it was dark, but it doesn't have the white on there like the fungus is.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Ryan.
And I'm Kyle, and today we're taking advantage of the cold front. So what we're doing is we're gonna bring in the big sulcatas, and with that, with getting our hands on them, we're gonna actually coat them, like we talked about before, with coconut oil to help with the fungus. So we have our friend Chris Cameron here.
What's up, guys?
He's from Shark Addicts, so we roped him in just to help us with moving these monsters, but we are only missing one. So again,
two.
Oh, two now?
Yeah, missing two.
They
so we got one over here.
Pretty smart, so they know where the warm temperatures are, and it's definitely in a heated house. So this one, poor gal, she's the one that has metabolic bone disease, most likely. So she only kind of scoots along. You see her back legs, she doesn't really stick them out too well, but she definitely obviously gets around. But again, with the cold front, we just want to make sure she gets inside. You see she's not bad at all. You'll see a little bit here of the fungus, a little bit here, a little bit here, but overall she's pretty good. So we'll just cover it.
And that's just from extra humidity?
No, that's from the rain.
The rain.
So you know, obviously in South Florida you get a lot of rain in a short amount of time, so you'll get these pockets. So if they're in the water for a pretty long amount of time, or just, again, I mean, they're sulcatas, so they don't like humidity or rain whatsoever. You clip her back, but
yeah. We'll start moving her up.
Yeah, so we'll just cover her up. But yeah, it's just from the rain itself, not as much the humidity.
And I'm gonna show them this too. So out here, as we're walking around, I'll show you a little about the enclosure. So as you can see here, there's a little bit of a test dig. Now they do burrow out here, but you can see this. They also lay eggs, which unfortunately, since we're not out here collecting them and there's not a huge demand for baby sulcatas in the pet trade, because there's a ton already, the raccoons tend to get to the eggs. So that they kind of just get picked up before none even really even hatch. But like we've said in the last video with Crush, the last tortoise video, with these larger tortoises, they're not for everyone. So we want to make sure that we're not overproducing them and send them out there. If you can't have a property like this and give them adequate space, they don't make good apartment pets. So we got 14 in there right now.
Sure, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Of course, now that we're messing with them, now they think we're all feeding them.
Did you do this?
Now they're trying to come out. No.
Okay, so you can see where the other one scooted through. So now there's one over in the palmettos, which is gonna be fun to find it.
So as you can see over there too so we got a ton of rain last night. So that's what I was talking about before with the fungus. You'll just get a lot of pulling with the rainfall. So even them just walking through that, pretty often they'll develop the fungus. But as you saw, it's not terrible. It's not life-threatening unless it's severe. Just so it's something that we're conscious of due to the Florida climate. And that's why we're being proactive and making sure it doesn't get any worse.
Now this is the fun part. So we get to walk through all the palmettos and try to find a tortoise. So it's kind of like field herping a little bit, but in our own backyard.
Fun part?
This is fun. You get to explore.
So this is sawtooth palmetto, and the reason they call it sawtooth palmetto is the stalk, I guess, is very much like a saw. So when Ryan says it's a fun time,
well, it gets you out there. It's not like going in your house, a nice little aquarium. You gotta look for them.
You're also very what? Oh.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Ryan's a very green Floridian, so he has to learn all the actual parts of Florida instead of thinking this is all fun.
I mean, I'm having a good time.
Stay chewed up.
All snuggled up, camouflage right here in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Let me get a good shot of him, so you guys can see how good they hide. There he is, right there.
Which one is that?
Looks like a little girl.
Chris, you want to do the honors?
Sure.
I'll be able to tell better which one that is.
Ooh, and those sawtooth living up to their name. There you go. All right.
So that is the one that I got from Kenan. That's when I first met him at a reptile show 5 years ago. Met him and bought that tortoise. That's the one. So it's a super dark individual. And also they're super pointy, pokey.
Yeah.
But no.
I may take back my fun comment earlier. Those palmetto bushes aren't that fun to walk through.
And I take back mine. That was actually funny. Walk much?
Well, I got caught on the chain link.
It's only 3 foot high.
Well, you know,
Wow.
I'm only 5'6", so.
Are you really? I mean,
I'm the same height as you. What do you...
I notice every day. Wow, you are the same height as me.
You know what?
All right.
There you go.
Now that got her.
And look at her. She doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah. No.
I think she looks better than the last one.
Again, just being proactive. We'll go through them. There's some that have like a saddle back to them that you can really definitely tell where the water's been sitting on them from the rain. So we'll definitely treat them accordingly.
You want them out here or in there?
In here.
We'll bring them all in here.
And guys, I know a few of you have been asking to see kind of the indoor house, so this is what it's gonna be.
Break.
This one's running. We're gonna keep her in, but you can see here there's some hay on the ground, and then 3 250-watt heat bulbs to keep them warm during a cold snap that come on at night.
And this is an insulated building too, so naturally, very much like the greenhouse. The greenhouse isn't even insulated, and that stays 7 to 10 degrees warmer at night. So just being in a closed space and out of the extreme temperatures, because a lot of these extreme temperatures only happen in a few hours a night. It's usually like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning when it's the coldest. So as long as you can keep them out of the wind and the cold itself and just in a room, it's a lot better. Oh my God.
Turn your back for 2 seconds.
They're running away.
The door has been open all day. And now,
This went too fast.
And
that
I'm gonna go
one-
ahead and shut this.
there. So, we started anywhere we see little white patches.
All right. Yeah, so walk them through what you're doing.
So this is coconut oil. So you just find any of the white patches on the tortoises. So like even that saddle like I was talking about before, you just kind of find that white patch and rub it in.
And what does the coconut oil do? Like why are you grabbing coconut oil instead of maybe like Vaseline or anything else?
I mean, from my experience, I've seen this stuff work well as an antifungal. I've learned that from old-timer tortoise guys down here that have dealt with these issues. And with the coconut oil, it's a lot easier to come by. It's a lot easier to just find in your kitchen. So it's easy to use for this. And again, with it being antifungal, supposedly, it does seem, hey, what are you doing? It does seem to work. But
And how often are you doing this?
again, it's usually worse in the summer when you get a lot of rain. So in the summer, I try to do it, at least look over the tortoises once a month, just make sure there's no issues. But in the winter like this, usually it's one time because the winters are technically the dry season down here.
This one's got it pretty bad because it is a male, so he's got the
yeah.
concave plaster on, which allows for more moisture to hold instead of the females where it's flat and they can rub it off in the grass walking around.
I got you, bud. We're almost done.
And now, if left unchecked, what would this do to the tortoise?
I mean, most likely it will eat away at his shell. I mean, that's technically what it's doing long term. But again, it's kind of just growing on there right now. And then as long as you just keep an eye on it, you can combat it before it gets severe. But it's just something, again, it's just something to keep in mind with keeping these animals in a climate that they're technically not designed for. I mean, these guys are designed for the deserts of Africa, so they don't get a ton of rain like Florida does.
And how much of a coating are you putting on them?
I like to make them nice and shiny. I mean, wow, that was a lot of pee. I'm gonna put this guy over. There you go, bud.
I see that one there's chasing after that orange lid because it probably thinks it's a nice piece of fruit.
But again, it's just enough to kind of coat it. Just a little thin layer. Nothing crazy.
Okay. And now we're gonna keep checking them, and probably the males are gonna have it the worst, huh?
Yeah, I've definitely noticed the males have it worse. The bigger guys, especially, I mean, these big guys that have areas where it can pocket.
Okay,
water.
yeah. So you can see it's actually really thick there. And this
You
one's
kinda
got it
just
all the way
put it in your
towards
hand.
back.
And sometimes, like if there's little areas all over the place, I'll just coat the entire shell. Makes them look pretty too.
Keep them nice and shiny. Just like when the crocodiles get wet, you can see their pattern.
It's not too bad, but you can see this is old scarring here. Now this tortoise I got from here, so I mean it could have just been an issue prior. But you can see how you can see the indentations where it was dark, but it doesn't have the white on there like the fungus is currently an issue. I've even noticed that they can get it on their legs too here.
Huh. He's tugging up another shell.
Yes.
And Chris, you're working on one of the bigger ones here.
Yeah, do we know what this guy's name is?
No, you want to name him?
Yeah, sure.
You crushed me.
Oddball.
Oddball? Oddball is Sulcata.
This is an awkward shaped thing.
Go through here and see.
Breathing to try and flip over.
You should count how many males and how many females we have.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying.
Again, we kind of just threw them in here.
Alright,
See, this is definitely a male. This is the young male here.
yes, the big ones are kind of hard to flip over as Chris is learning.
Yep.
And we'll see under, yeah. So you definitely, this is essential to do because you can see there's actually rotting away a little. Or
You can see
but
that's
old
old.
rot. Old
Because
rot.
this is the new, you
Yeah.
can see the fungus there, that is an issue.
Yeah, so if left untreated, which maybe it wasn't treated as good in the past, that's where you can see it's kind of rotten. So that's why it's important to get out here and do it frequently, like Kyle was saying earlier.
I mean, I have noticed it before, in redfoots even. So you still have to watch, even if they're designed for a more tropical climate, it's something that you should be aware of and look out for. But you see a lot more in the desert species because these guys are not used to so much precipitation, right? Precipitation.
Yes, that would be the one. All right, guys, so I'm gonna put the camera down for a minute. I'm gonna help Chris and Kyle rub down the rest of these tortoises and make sure that we get them all, and then I'll pick up the camera once we're done and then kind of explain the rest of the process here. So we'll see in a minute.
All right, so now that everyone is shined up, I just want to go through again because they are getting bigger. I want to see how many males and how many females we have. Luckily, a lot of times sulcatas will fight, but this group has been pretty well mannered for the most part, especially with having big males and then smaller males. These big males have actually been really well behaved. So these guys are definitely males. We got 1, 2, 3. I know for sure these 3 are males. This one's a male, so we got 4 big ones. Speed bump is a male, so we got 5. Let's see, what do we got? We got 5 males. This one, not sure. This one is a male, so we got 6 males.
And how are you figuring out that they're males? Just so people that don't keep sulcatas, that don't have tortoises, you can kind of explain to them a little bit.
Honestly, it's kind of harder when they're smaller like this. I'm not the best at telling males from females. I just know for having some of them for so long, I know they're males. But a lot of times with these sticking out here, they're sulcata tortoises, but also called a spur thigh tortoise. So they got these spurs here. That one's definitely female, so you can see the spurs on the male versus the female. Also, it seems like the males are more elongated and the females are rounder.
Yeah, and then also, I don't know what this, do you know what this is called? This little part of the shell they use for fighting for the males?
Oh, well, he did not.
Didn't like that at all.
Case in point.
But what they'll do is you can figure out for the male, so they'll have these.
Actually, I think those are the spurs. Those are the spurs.
Those are spurs?
And these are just the pronounced scoots on top.
But what they'll use those for is in fighting, they use it to flip over tortoises, and they'll also use it to kind of hurt them pretty badly. As you can see, he's kind of tweaking around a little bit because he feels that male walking. So, want to figure out some females?
Yep, so I know for a fact we got female, yep, 1, 2, 2 females behind you, or for the bigger group. We got female there. That one is, I think, going away, right? Yeah, let's see. Take you a look. I think that's a male there. So I think we about have 50-50 ratio of males versus females, because that's a female here. No, this is a male. So I guess we got one more male and females. But again, they've just been doing so good. I was worried at first because this was 2 different groups before, but with the hurricane coming, I had 2 different, put one group in here, one group next door, and sulcatas do what sulcatas do, and they dug underneath the panel here, and all of a sudden became one big group. These guys I've had all these animals for years, so they're definitely quarantined, they're definitely nice and healthy, so I wasn't worried about cross-contamination in that regard. So they are doing well, and then we watched obviously the temperament towards each other, and there's nothing too small of animals where the giant guys can crush them. So I kind of just let them do the thing, and they've been great ever since. All right, guys, well, let's get out of here. Let's leave them be.
Quick, close it.
With a cold night. Oh, man.
They're trying to make their escape.
Look at them. All right, we're good. All right, so it's going to get down to about 50 degrees tonight, so we'll keep them locked up, and then we'll let them out tomorrow morning. But now that they're all treated and nice and warm, we will leave them be.
Perfect. Well, if you liked today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Instagram, Primitive Predators. Also, if you're into sharks and shark diving, I know we've done one video so far on the channel. Check out their YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're all about sharks. If you like Primitive Predators, you'll love Shark Addicts TV. Check it out.
Yeah, so go check it out, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.